Welcome back to the Cinema Sessions. My name is Keith, and as always I'm joined by
Seamus. Hello.
Dubliner's Guide to Cinema. This week we're talking Hollow Man, directed by Paul Verhoeven and starring Kevin Bacon. A film that takes a classic sci-fi idea and pushes it to some very dark territory. On paper, it's a brilliant setup. A scientist becomes invisible, can't turn back, and slowly unravels. It should be a sharp psychological descent into power and ego, but Hollow Man is a strange one. At times it feels like a smart sci-fi thriller, and at others something far more uncomfortable and far less controlled. So the question becomes, is this an underrated Verhoeven film or one that completely loses itself? Let's get into it. There.
Nice.
I'm definitely getting a fucking teleprompter. I'm telling you, I'm convinced now because I said it. I've now convinced myself that it's because I can see everything.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Look into it, sure. Well, here we are. An
Back
entirely uncontroversial film. This is I was saying to our producer before the show
Producer Mark.
how I've longed to say that. I did a year on, if anyone wants to check out my Instagram, you're more than welcome. I did a year where I reviewed a film once a day for the entire year. And
That was the seeds.
it was indeed, yeah. And more than one person requested Hollow Man, and one of them was my aunt down in Galway, who I wouldn't have thought this was her kind of fucking thing.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Well, you're in your mind's eye. You're probably not far from her. If she requested this because she's a huge fan, she might have seen it and it so fucking traumatized her that she wanted someone to talk about her. So
See, this is a big, which we'll get into, but this is a big. Women love this invisible shit, like, and I don't mean that in a weird way.
Really?
But yeah, because even with Lee Whannell's Invisible Man, like, it really. This idea that you're not even safe when you're alone, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's
there's
fucking,
something creepy about it. Yeah,
yeah,
I thought we could do a very deep dive on it. I thought that film had an interesting take on it. I thought the execution of it, I wasn't a big fan of that. I remember over COVID there was an Empire podcast with Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino, and the Empire guy was like, oh, like the last moment, like in the cinema before COVID, that I was really like, that one of those big cinema moments was the bit in Invisible Man where the throat gets cut in the restaurant. And I remember and Edgar Wright's like, oh, that was great. And Tarantino's like, yeah, I suppose that'd be my answer too. And I was like, he didn't like it one. He's good taste, that Tarantino. But we digress. Yeah, this film, I'm old enough to have been disappointed by this film when I saw it on video or DVD or however saw it. Paul Verhoeven, I think is it actually pronounced Verhoeven? But
it's probably he's
English
Dutch. He's Dutch though, so I know the Danes, like the way they pronounce that OE is like Cuban Haven. So I don't know if it's Verhoeven or Verhoeven. Yeah, depending if it's Dutch is any different, but it could be the fucking exact same.
Who knows? Yeah. He's someone who I would put in like up there with my favorite directors. Now, yet, go on.
I'm glad you said this, right? Because on the Blu-ray extras, right, there's like a narrator on the making of, and he said something like brutal realist Verhoeven, like, and I'm like, like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a Verhoeven stan or that. Yeah. But that's not something I was...
they're brutal in the non-Irish sense of it. In Ireland, when we say something's brutal, it might actually just be in Dublin. That can mean it's awful. Like, as in, they're often very tough and uncompromising. Yeah. Realist...
That's the realism. And
yeah, he'll often say now he's inspired by growing up in World War II and seeing real violence, but like when you watch it, you get like, there is an edge to it. I think that's what makes him a great director. There's an edge to it, but at the same time, like, realism is
like, it's like just fucking RoboCop, like,
Jesus, yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like when he's on his game.
Oh yeah,
like with RoboCop, Total Recall, Starship Troopers, and
Showgirls.
Nearly top of the pantheon. Everything he's done, I think I missed one of them. He did some film on an iPhone or something, but everything he's done since he left Hollywood that I've seen is really, really good. But like fucking, I think Basic Instinct is god awful. Like
I'm
I
not into it.
don't get it at all. Yeah. That was a cultural phenomenon.
But
when it came
that's
out.
also partly to do with the fucking spread of the legs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it was that was
talk
an
about
unusual-
non-submersible units.
Yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? That's
well,
it.
she was a big character, like, and Sharon Stone was so big at the time. But like when you watch it now, like it comes across as like some jackass foreigner's version of America. Like there's a bit in a police station where like two cops are arguing with each other. You know, Michael Douglas guy, and another cop like grabs him by the neck and like puts a gun to his head, and you're like, what? You can't come back from that. Like, what the fuck is this? And sometimes he just seems to lose a run of himself. And spoiler alert, I think that's what happened here. But
because I mean, you look at him and you see him being interviewed, and he is this manic fucking Dutch fucking mad thing.
He's
like,
a
do you know what I
lunatic.
mean? He's off his rocker,
in the best sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
100% in the best sense. And I think you're right here. Like, 'cause I mean, this is something for me where I would have came to this was. We've mentioned it before, Sky movies, like, do you know what I mean? This would have been something. See, the thing is, I had a Kevin Bacon era. Do you know what I mean?
I think we all did, yeah.
No, but I swear to God, like, between this and Stored of Echoes, I remember breaking the Stored of Echoes VHS tape because I watched it non-stop.
I saw that back in the day, yeah, that was quite good.
Like, I was such The Woodsman. I just had this fucking...
yeah.
I even went... And it all stems from when I saw Halloween too young. Because then I said I wanted to see...
Oh, he's in Friday the 13th.
I wanted to see Friday the 13th, and that was Kevin Bacon's first film. Watch that. And then I just ended up obsessed with him, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm very naive because I saw Tremors and I just assumed that that's what he's like in real life. And I remember at the time of this, he did like a diary thing for the making of Hollow Man for like some American magazine. I remember reading some of it and going like, now he didn't come off as like a total arsehole, but he came off as like a very...
He was just being method. He was playing Sebastian Cain.
He was quite self-centered, and he was very like kind of whiny and all this. Now, some of the stuff he had to put up with does sound like bad,
and this is again, right, we'll get into it deeper as we go on. But I genuinely, until this rewatch and subsequent research, had no idea he was in every scene.
Yeah, the poor bastard.
I had genuinely no clue.
Yeah.
I thought, because when I rewatched this, actually, here, come on, do your spiel and then we'll get
Yeah,
into
well, because just in case anyone's uninitiated, so Hollow Man is a science fiction horror film from the year 2000, directed by Paul Verhoeven and written by Andrew W. Marlowe, from a story by Marlowe and Gary Scott Thompson, starring Elizabeth Shue, who does have top billing.
Yes.
Kevin Bacon, Josh Brolin, before his renaissance, Kim Dickens and William Devane. The film follows brilliant but increasingly unstable scientist Sebastian Cain, who successfully turns himself invisible but becomes dangerously unhinged after the experiment leaves him unable to return to normal, terrorizing his colleagues trapped with him in a secret laboratory. The film has a 5.9 rating on IMDb with a Metacritic critic score of 24% and a user score of 5.8. On Rotten Tomatoes, it holds a critic score of 25% and an audience score of 28%. Which, according to some of our fans, must mean it's bad. It grossed approximately $190 million worldwide against a budget of about $95 million. And on a personal note, folks, have you ever found yourself longing for the warm embrace of the grave? Asking for a friend. Moving on.
Now, one cast member you didn't mention was Joey Slotnick. And I just have to say...
Because he has a funny name.
Oh, yeah. Because that's like smooth jazz with Joe Slotnick.
Which one is he? Because there's a guy,
He's
with
the guy
the
with
weird
the
curly
fucking
hair.
Yeah, him. That's him. And then there's Greg Grumber.
Greg Grumber, who's quite high up. Is he the broy guy? Who's kind of friendly with him. Yeah, he has a spoiler, quite a good death scene. To be fair, yeah. Sorry, we were.
Yeah, we were speaking about.
Kevin Bacon and having to be in every scene.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So. That's what you're here for.
Yeah,
yeah, but I had no clue. And that's why when I first rewatched this over the last week or so, I was like, I was real snooty about it and about special effects. I was like, oh, these have aged terribly and all this. But then I actually watched all the special features on the Blu-ray and I rewatched it and I was fucking blown away. But actually, like, this film would have been made in 99.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shot on film and... just the fact that he's in every scene. So he's green in the general scenes.
He's green.
He's blue in the smoke. Oh no, in the water scenes he's black. blackface.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Thank God.
Which isn't a problem for Dutch.
No on-set photography. The Dutch wouldn't have a problem with
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
What's the name of that?
Oh, I don't know.
Black Pete or something like that.
I don't know.
Christ.
Oh man. But again, we digress. But and then and I was genuinely blown away at the fact that he was in every scene.
Yeah, the effects are like invisible effects are kind of weird in that I'd say even if you were to see like it really happen like an invisible person, it'd still seem like a fake movie effect or something like because there's bits in this where you go, I'd imagine that's just what it would look like. And there's still something kind of special effecty about it. Now, some of the bits with the layers look a little kind of plasticky, but they're not bad or they're not embarrassing.
Like when you see, like, because obviously, long story short, Sebastian Cain, played by Kevin Bacon, is this hotshot, narcissistic.
Yeah, he's the rock star.
The
Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
He dresses like him now.
But a bit darker, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not quite as lovable.
No, like, I mean, the opening scene, and he's literally perving on his neighbour, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Jesus.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and so the hotshot scientists, and they're developing, government contracted to develop invisibility. And they've made loads of animals invisible. They struggle to get them back. So one of the big kind of set pieces to open the film is obviously we meet Sebastian Cain, Kevin Bacon, who is clearly a perv, and who just by walking by his computer all of a sudden solves this fucking massive issue that they're having.
Yeah, they so again, this is my problem sometimes with movies like this, but I think when you're watching them, it doesn't bother you. But like, because there's a scene later on.
I've often seen a pair of tits and got inspiration. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's sorry. No, I thought so. His part of like the logic for because they have to motivate Elizabeth Shue and Josh Brolin to kind of go along with them. They're like, oh, we're under pressure. They're going to cut our funding, and I'm like, what? The guy's not been like, holy God, you're the greatest genius who ever lived. You fucking invented invisibility. But they're in a meeting and they're like, you better book up. Come on, man, hurry up with it. I'm like, all right, because that was my other thing with the Invisible Man film was I'm like, is this film ever going to acknowledge that her husband was like the greatest genius who ever lived because he invented an invisible suit and it's perfect.
Yeah.
But like, look, you kind of need that shit. It's a movie after all. But yeah, he is. It's weird actually watching it because we were talking a little bit before we recorded. There is a director's cut. And I don't know if you watch this like on a DVD because there was deleted scenes that I was thinking were part of the film, especially with a very controversial scene coming up later. But yeah, they seem to. It is reasonably well done how he's an arsehole at the start, but he isn't like an off-putting arsehole.
Yeah, but you see, but they do plant that seed.
Yeah,
but I mean, the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and say that if that happened in Next Door. And fucking, I can't think of the actress's name, but she's in.
Rona Mitra.
Rona Mitra was me next door neighbour. I can't say that I wouldn't rant.
Well, yeah, that's part of the actually funny enough.
But if you're saying Pretty Young Woman, we're all pigs, and anyways.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I don't know what it's like on the Blu-ray, but I watched this on Netflix. It's on Netflix here in Ireland, and I was like, Jesus, the fucking cinematography in this is awful. Like it was completely just high key, lit like a fucking comedy. And I was like, this is fucking rotten. And then I have the old DVD here that I got back in the day, and it's completely different. Like it looks like it's not. Sorry, it doesn't look completely different, but there's contrast and there's like shadows and all this, and like it really did hurt the film the way I.
See, that's the problem, man. Like, I mean, Chris Nolan's always saying it. Like, I mean, if you want the best experience, get the Blu-ray 4K versions of my films. If you want the best possible version, because I am in complete control of how it's presented.
Okay.
Whereas in cinemas and also Netflix streamers, you have no control over if they want to fucking blow the fucking shit out of it with Brighton and everything.
Well, yeah, that's what I imagine happened is they just fucking transferred it because it looks like a proper film. Like I was, this is Jesus, him and because it was Jost Vacano, I think, who did like Total Recall, just like, and he did. Pretty sure he did Starship Troopers. They all look fucking great now. They're lit. They have a certain look to them, and he's great with the camera involved. But when I saw it on I was like, okay, it's not quite as incompetently bad, but like she is so glamorously, beautifully photographed, and like people just seem to leave their fucking windows open in this universe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, yeah.
No, but it's always, but it just seems like a very American thing. Like it's one of them things where like, does that actually happen? And an American will go, "What? Are you fucking crazy?" Like,
Course,
no,
you don't. I thought you were gonna say, yeah, of course we all undress with the fucking windows open.
Yeah.
No, that they start off and he is kind of like, he's very cocky and he's ambitious and all this, but like it is kind of softly, but some of the stuff is, what I think doesn't work about it is, and I think Verhoeven kind of fessed up to this later, I think his heart wasn't really in this. Like there's stuff in it, like,
you wouldn't tell from seeing him on set, like, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
he seems like in it, like,
there's something up with that. He's such a fuck, because I don't know, did you see that one he did, Benedetta? I think that was his last one.
No.
And I was watching it behind the scenes. It's about these lesbian nuns in a convent like hundreds of years ago. And he said, yes, the original script was like the politics of it. She wants to do this. And I said, no, she wants to be powerful so she can have sex with her girlfriend. And I was like, how is he how did he make that a better film than the original one? Because it is a fucking brilliant film that says a lot about like the human condition and all this. And I'm like, and he's just like, yes, it's about two women wanting to have sex. Yes. And you're like, how did he do that? How did he turn it into an actual good film? Like, he's just got a magic touch. But with this film, there's kind of laziness to it. Like, it just seemed to me to be like, I'm doing this film, so it should be raping, yes? Like, all right, maybe not.
Because he does mention in the making of, he goes, all my inspiration comes from sex and violence. So, I mean, it's all, you look at any of my work, it's all supercharged via...
Yeah, well, he like, you look at Total Recall and you're like, some madman made this. In the best sense. And RoboCop as well. Like, you're just like, what kind of a fucking lunatic made this film? And in this, it's kind of like that, but on autopilot. Starship Troopers is fucking tremendous. Like, and I think even on the commentary track, the writer was, because it's Verhoeven, Kevin Bacon and the writer, and it's like, oh, they were working on this for 8 or 9 years, I worked on it for years, and Kevin Bacon's like, when did you come on, Paul? And he's like, about 6 months before we started filming. And you're like, oh, okay,
that makes sense.
It did see, but as you say, like, you'd see him making it and you're like,
it's like he's in it, like, you know what I mean?
It's great,
and he's manic, and I love it.
There's an interview actually online with Josh Brolin where he was criticizing Verhoeven.
Josh Brolin said the most, like, you talk about getting cancelled, like, do you know what I mean? He goes, Paul, I have the quote here, actually.
Oh, good.
But Josh Brolin on Paul Verhoeven, right? He's like a kid with autism who keep banging his head.
Jesus. I didn't see that one. Now there's another one. This guy, he does quite good interviews with people. Is his name Horowitz or something? But he was interviewing him and he said, I have a lot of respect for him, but he did say, like, he can be, like, very difficult on set. Like he said, he was very mean to some extras and all this, and he says, I wasn't a big fan of that. But he was also a funny bit where he said they were doing a scene where they're looking at an invisible monkey with, like, the heat-seeking goggles, and he said Kevin Bacon at the end of a take goes, you got some chops, man. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just pretending I'm looking at a monkey with, like, a infrared spec. But at the same time, like, if you asked me to do that, I'd fuck it up, you know.
Well, that's the thing, and that brings me to the first kind of Jesus lads moment of the film. Right, for anybody who doesn't know, that's the moment in the film where you go, oh Jesus, and you kind of lose traction with it.
It's never quite the same. Yeah.
It's not so bad that I can completely detach from the rest of the film or anything like that. But when Josh Brolin, who goes into a fucking cage with a gorilla?
Oh yeah, that they can't even fucking see. Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. And then not only that, it bites him, and they continue then to have the worst race ever to go and do it, because the two of them run 5 feet, stop, and then even though the thing is right in front of him and he can see it now with the fucking goggles, he misses
it by like a country mile. Yeah, it's very
and that
lazy,
was I went like,
actually the writer,
there's no love there, like,
the writer on the commentary said, oh, you need a scene where it says, I think we set up their characters, and you're like, yes indeed you do, but did you do it well? Or you know, because you do go, what kind of a fucking gobshite can't hit the thing?
And not only that, but I just couldn't, because he just goes, calm down, and then walks
and
into
he gets in the cage, and he has to fucking take the thing off the syringe.
Surely that's something that you do. They have guns, they have tranquilizers. Like, why are they shooting that?
And why is it just one person doing it? Like, you're fucking ludicrous. Yeah. And then so Kevin Bacon comes along, and he's again kind of the cool rock star guy. He's like the top down. credit for that was a really cool song he was listening to by
In the car on the way in,
who I actually have their album somewhere. It was a really great. They were kind of a manufactured like rock group or something.
Okay,
Sonna they were called. That's a great song. They've one or two other good songs on the album. But yeah, you get this idea like he's a flashy kind of a
he's
guy
driving his Porsche.
Yeah,
speeding.
but they kind of want it both ways though, because you know, she's like, how did you figure this out? And he goes, the usual Twinkies and all this. I'm like,
he's a tortured artist.
He doesn't look like
a
a Twinkie kind of a guy. This is Kevin Bacon, you know, like fucking slim and sexy and, you know, all this. It's like, he's not a nerd. Like, you can say what you want. So I wonder actually, would it have been better if he were kind of a chubby, kind of fucking losery
Josh
kind
Brolin.
of a guy? Yeah. Oh, well, I was actually, when I said his name earlier, I was like, would this film be better if it was a sequel to Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum took a left turn.
Yeah, wouldn't you pay to see that though?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, like, maybe he'd be too likable though, because Kevin Bacon is quite a likable character. Apparently, on IMDb, I read like 5 times they chose him because he can be charming but malevolent. He doesn't play. There's this and then the X-Men thing. Does he play many more? I suppose the Woodsman now, but that is a sympathetic.
The most recent
kind of
one on Netflix. What's that with Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali?
Jesus Christ!
Ethan Hawke. It's fucking fantastic for the Netflix film. For the pure Netflix film, it's fantastic.
God,
but he has Leave the World Behind. He has such a small part in it, but he's this right wing prepper type. Okay. And he's fucking brilliant in it. He's only in it for like a scene, really. Like,
he's a great actor. Actually, it's funny you bring up what's the supernatural thing you made around this? Stir of Echoes. Sorry, yeah. In that diary thing, he was writing about like, so Stir of Echoes was released, and like no one on the set mentions having seen it. Another Kevin Bacon film comes and goes, and I remember reading that going, oh, he's not the guy from Tremors. He's an insecure actor. How disappointing. I don't know what I was expecting, like, but why? I don't know. But so they basically have made a gorilla invisible, and then he figured out how to bring it back by adding atoms to a molecule or something. It's a bit
inspiration through tits.
Yeah, why not? You know, and that is like the effects are still interesting, like the way it's brought back layer by layer.
But even this, like, so this is a guy in a suit in the gorilla thing, with an animatronic face. Like all this
it's
shit,
quite good actually.
All this shit I didn't realise. Like at the time, I just thought that was because. And the only thing I noticed that on the Blu-ray, right? Because obviously it's the CGI of the layers coming back and everything, right? But you can see on the Blu-ray where it's like kind of what's the word, wiping from the real, from the CGI face to the actual mask, and shit like that. I noticed.
Okay, but interesting. Yeah.
In terms of when it was made, because I was forgetting about when, like, this is 20, would have been made 27 years ago, like, would have been filmed, like, and it's just really fucking, I think it's really good for the time, like, do you know what I mean?
No, they still, like I say, it's not embarrassing, like,
no.
And,
like, I mean, you could argue that it doesn't stand up, but this was cutting edge at the time, like, do you know what I mean?
In The Invisible Man, it is a suit, isn't it?
It's a suit,
if I remember,
It
so they don't bother going through all this, no, it was good, and it was, like, this was a big, the special, I remember when I went to see Spider-Man, I was working with kind of an owl fella, and he goes, I said, oh, what'd you do at the weekend? I said, I went to see Spider-Man. The first question, how are the special effects? Are they good? That was back when it was like a big selling point. This was hyped, and like half the budget went to the special effects and to the visual effects.
It's not surprising. Like.
A friend of mine will fucking cane me, it's visual effects if it's digital or whatever. But yeah, that was a big thing of like, well, how do we make it even cooler instead of just gradually...
If your friend knows about visual effects, he'll cane me, because no matter... I've looked at things to have it explained to me and everything, and it just does not sink in. How the fuck did they put effects onto film? Like, do you know what I mean? It blows me fucking mind.
Oh, like. Yeah, it's actually the only answer I could possibly give, and it's not a good answer, is for the film The Frighteners, the Peter Jackson thing. There's a 3-hour making of, and there is actually a bit in that where they explain how they do it. They had a little optical thing that did it, and it's a not a bad question, because I saw that thing and I can,
it blows me
remember,
fucking mind, like, cause
back in the day as well. That's why you still, if you watch Jurassic Park now, there is like a bit of a loss of quality when you see it's a CGI shot. I think that's true for a few years, because they had to go through another. Sure, I went to see the Goonies on film in the Lighthouse, and you know there's a bit at the start where Corey Feldman, isn't it? Haim is the guy who died. Corey Feldman is like
And we
speaking
just wish
Spanish. Yeah. He's speaking Spanish to the housekeeper, and whenever there were subtitles over what he was saying, there was a loss of quality in the image because they just had to print it again. They couldn't go like straight from the negative and all this. So yeah, the fact that they were able to pull this shit off at all is impressive. And there's a lot of moving camera in this, like with the effects.
And how it's done, so they'd lock the camera off, it'd move, and then they'd do the shot again with nobody in it. So they'd be able to like have the background where it should be and everything, because otherwise it's just a black, say, like the shape of Kevin Bacon. Like it's fair play. Like because people like. And for good reason as well, like James Cameron and all, they're all cutting edge and all this, and Avatar and bollocks, like. But you know what I mean?
Well, they are often the ones like kind of.
But you never hear
there first.
But you never hear Verhoeven as like a fucking cutting
No,
edge.
it's true. Yeah, like if you watch, I remember when I saw it was back when I was in college the first time, so it was 25 years ago. But I remember I watched Total Recall then, and I was like, the effects in this still stand up like really well. Now that was kind of pre-CGI and all this, but like he doesn't get a lot of credit. And like now I think RoboCop was all the practical stuff, but Total Recall had cutting edge kind of visual effects in it and all that. Maybe they were special effects, I don't know, May can tell us. But we move on from that. That's a good scene. You kind of see a bit of I'm a big Kim Dickens fan, I have to say, and she's in this, which is nice. She gave me,
believe it or not, you know what she gave me? She gave me Meg Tilly vibes in Psycho 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's I really liked her in. It was a little bit before this. It's a brilliant film. Not a lot of people have seen. It's called Zero Effect. Bill Pullman plays kind of a modern day Sherlock Holmes kind of character in it.
Yeah. And
she's the kind of female lead in that. It's really, really good. It's worth a look. And wasn't she in Gone Girl as well? She's like the female police officer in Gone Girl.
I've only ever seen Gone Girl once.
Yeah, an actress I tend to really like. She has one of the worst lines ever to say in any movie ever, though, in this. So they bring the ape back, and then Kevin Bacon's like, right, schedule the vivisection for today after. And she goes like, what? And he's like, I'm not running the goddamn zoo. And she goes, you're a fucking unethical bastard. I was like, oh, why would she? Why did you put that word unethical in there?
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just like, you know what they have to do. You have to test this. Like, you have to chop them up.
The other thing is, I'm like, what, is this a surprise? Like, I don't know. And then Kevin Bacon's just like, oh, I'm just kidding. And I'm like, this is just the worst attempt to like, because I think it just seemed to me like, oh, we need to kind of plant a seed here. And I'm like, plant it a bit better. Like, although you could maybe make the argument, well, he's the kind of guy who pushes a joke too far or something, but it just comes off as like weird and forced. And like that line, I'm like, no one could make that line work. Like, I'm sorry.
So there's also, it's alluded to early on that there was a romance between Elizabeth Shue's character and Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Now, quickly after that, they have the whole thing with the in the Pentagon.
Yes.
With and it's like, you book up, pal, and you do this.
William Devane or Devane.
I don't like him.
Really?
I don't in this.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I've seen him in loads of shit.
Fair enough.
But in this, it just he's there's a line we'll get to later on, but we'll put a pin in that.
He's very, very stock in this. He is in. Sorry, I'm just doing my whole roll call here. He's in a film called Rolling Thunder, which is a really Tarantino.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great film. Really great. Go on anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. So obviously the romance is alluded to.
Yeah.
And
he tries to kiss her at the celebration.
Yeah.
She's having none of it. And
because she's with Josh Brolin.
Yeah, which is a secret.
The following scene is them in bed together, right? Now, Josh Brolin's character is looking for some reassurance because he's like, what does Sebastian have and all this? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what she then says to him has got to be like, this is turning you fucking black pill, like this is turning you into Andrew Tate, like, do you know what I mean, right? So I've got this quote
as
well,
This section
right?
brought to you by HS Tiki Talk.
Oh yeah, 100%. Listen to this, right? So he's looking for reassurance. She's like, oh yeah. And she goes,
well, he's like, you used to date Kevin Bacon's character.
Yeah.
Like, I feel insecure.
And what she says to him is, the idea of Sebastian is much more appealing than Sebastian himself. I.e., I like to think about him, I just don't like to have him, right? Whereas you're methodical, boring, precise, and very, very thorough, willing to eat it. And besides, here's the kicker. And besides, you fit better. Your dick is smaller. Like, Seriously, like I could not believe listening to that. I was like, that poor man is just looking like if that's not the beginning of his villain arc, I don't know what it is. Like
maybe he should have. Do you know what might have worked is if he snuck into the lab and said, "I'll fucking show her, I'll make myself invisible."
That would have been that would have been
better,
so much so interesting because I could not believe it. And he sits there and then they proceed to have sex, and it's like, I'm not touching you after you've said that shit to me, like
That'd be a boner killer, all right.
Oh man!
Now a word from our sponsors. Are you tired of women looking down on you guys? Come to the Cinema Sessions University. No, the whole film is very awkwardly written because the famous scriptwriter, the guy who wrote Chinatown, and he seemed to have been dying enough of it after the rest of his career. William Goldman apparently was hired to rewrite this, and he said, I had lunch with Paul Verhoeven, who told me he liked the script, and I was like, well, he's just going to ignore everything I do, even though he still got paid for doing it. And I remember all I took from it was, geez, Verhoeven liked the script, like, what the fuck, like
he must have been like, this is grand,
I need to do something,
I need a few quid, like
it genuinely came off that way, so we kind of go from there. So they, for whatever I have to say, like, it's reasonable enough. It wasn't like an here lads moment where they decide to do the human trials because Bacon was like, no, they're going to take this away from us. They're going to, and I was like, all right,
that's feasible. That's
okay.
possible. Like,
I kind of bought it, like, and he seemed very cocky, and he says, all right, well, we've got it fixed, and
there's a bit of pushback, but like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, Elizabeth Shue is kind of more all in than Josh Brolin, but obviously. We can see he's a cook, so like.
Well, he manipulates them fairly well, and he's very forceful kind of a personality and all this, so it's grand. So then we get into, again, I found a poorly written scene, like, you know, the bit where he's telling them the joke about the invisible man, and like, it's I'd heard that joke before as the other thing as well, but I'm just like,
I'd never heard that before. And that would have been something that it would have been something that was lost to me when I was younger watching it. But revisiting it here, and I have to say, I did chuckle. Like,
really? I know there's something about the way it was staged or something. Like, he's just not a great. See, guy. That's the thing.
They struggle, like, because I mean, it's probably the same stretch of hallway throughout the whole entire film, like, but it is a lot of fucking just moving up and down hallways.
That was an issue I actually had with it. It was this big kind of Hollywood thing, and it seemed very limited because it's most of it takes place in that laboratory, which granted now is kind of a cool set, but it felt very limited or something. Like, I found that because it was a pitched as like, this is a big Hollywood thing, and I was like, I wish for a bit more there. But then we get into the money scene, the transformation scene, and it is actually pretty good. Like,
again, but it's very flat where it's about to happen, and he's just sitting there and he goes, oh no, but wait, I can feel something.
I think once it gets into, I think Bacon's performance kind of carries it, because he really seems like he's in a fucking ton of pain.
But it's like, just before that happens though, it's just there's a flatness, and it's like, oh, don't worry, we'll redo it. And
I get you,
It's like,
it doesn't build the tension. It just kind of feels like nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because on the commentary again, Bacon goes, I thought we did well of it. Doesn't look like we're hiding the nudity here, because it is kind of like the way it's filmed is kind of awkward. Like, they don't do it in a flattering necessarily kind of a way. Actually, he was showing his dick quite a bit around this time. He was in Wild Things where you see his dick in it, and I remember someone was interviewed. I think it might have been about this film, but I think it might have been tied into the nudity.
Dick in this is that I can notice
that I saw, and it
begs the question, why did you have to put it in there?
But there was a question. He was asked an interview, and the guy says, you got your dick out in Wild Things or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, whatever, and he goes, oh, come on, man, you nearly knocked Matt Dillon's eye out with that thing. And then apparently Kevin Bacon is just like, awkward silence. I was like,
he's no Derek Diggler.
I'd be more fucking like, thanks, mate, appreciate it. But apparently the guy just made it super awkward. I do remember seeing, have you seen that one, Wild Things? That's kind of a big film, it's kind of fallen a bit in the public. It was another kind of a talked about thing at the time because there was a lot of female nudity in it with like Denise Richards and all this.
I'm there.
But then people, although I suspect it might have been a body double actually. But it has that famous three-way scene in it. But then you get to see Kevin's bacon, as they say at the time. So he was getting it. Why not? Like, he was a fit man. Why not go for it? I say he still actually looks pretty. He'd be pushing 70 now, I would say.
I say he's up there, yeah.
He's always kind of kept him. Who's he married to? Is it Kyra Sedgwick he's married
Something like that,
to?
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't. As I say, in my mind, he's the guy from Tremors.
Yeah.
From now until forever. Not Footloose, which is also. I don't know if I've ever seen Footloose.
I need the boy, actually. I've never been into those, that brand, even Saturday Night Fever or that, like, do you know what I mean? Any of them kind of.
Yeah, and then he played a film in the 80s where he played a bicycle courier in New York or something. There was a rake of films made in the 80s that you've never fucking heard of, with, like, big actors in them and that were kind of
breaking.
They're publicised at the time, and then no one fucking remembers them. But we digress. He's turned invisible, and this is where the film's reason for being comes in, where he's invisible. Basically, it's just made to fucking show off the effects, basically, which is odd because it kind of speaks to the time of it. This would just be PG-13 now. I know The Invisible Man was R-rated or whatever in the US, but that was very low budget comparatively to this. Whereas at the time nowadays, if you're spending this kind of money, it'd be,
you would be.
No, I don't think so. What do you mean you need to see the woman's breast? Yes, with the invisible hand.
He's sucking on it, is, you know.
You're more imaginative. Well, what I find is that's like the first thing he does, and I am like, he's already gone off the fucking deep end.
Like there's not like whatever about going into the room and hiding and freaking her out. I think most of us would do that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But to go in and unbutton her blouse, and take her breast out and fucking molest her, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's such a weird first step.
What's coming back? Like the scene that is coming, it should completely blow us out of the water and shock us. Yeah. But we already know he's that way.
The fact it was the first thing that he did, like, I mean, if it was, it'd be slight, and I'll get caned for this, but if it was like Elizabeth Shue and he's like playing with her hair when she's asleep or something, you'd be like, all right. But this is just like unambiguous. It's not like he's perving on her, like he fucking gropes her, like, you know, it's.
I genuinely thought he was.
I didn't hear the slurp on the sound. No, do you know why I thought that? Because I remember at the time reading that apparently Paul Verhoeven was like, well, I will do it, yes, if you want. She was like, no, I don't think so. I'll get a female crew person to do it, because they used a hand for the effect anyway. Yeah. I will say with that effect, that's kind of like the first. Jeez, I'll get caned again for this money shot, if you will. You can see a bit of like weird kind of blurring where there's touching on all this, but the movement of it and the removal of however they achieve the effect is actually still stands up like reasonably well. And with so that's Kim Dickens. Poor old Kim Dickens falls asleep overnight, and he's already essentially crossed a pretty big line, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. But here's something that kind of I feel like. I don't know if this is a goal, Paul Verhoeven, but I don't know what time of day it is at any stage. Even at night time when there's nobody there. Yeah. And obviously, right, that's the night shift. But there's nothing to make me think any different of anything. Do you know what I mean? And I think for some reason that sticks out to me, and it's just like I'm thinking about what time of day, like that's in the back of my head. And it's kind of taking me out of where I'm supposed to be, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a poor idea. You'd have no idea, except at one stage he goes, it's been 10 days. And you have no idea of how long has been going on. And there isn't a good sense of that, Again, it just seemed to me like people were on autopilot with this one, which is, you know.
Because it does happen quick, because other than the molestation of Kim Dickens, that sounds like a fucking book or something, doesn't it? The molestation of Kim Dickens. He's pretty jovial for the first, and then they can't get him back. Up until the point they can't get it, it fails the serum to.
Yeah, like the idea of, and it was a big line in the trailers. You'd be amazed what you can do, and you don't have to look at your own face in the mirror or something like that. Apparently, there is a psychological truth to that. Like,
that's the whole kick of it. Is like what there is no consequence. There's nothing. You lose everything.
It's just not convincing. Like
no, but in real like terms.
Like
the guardrails of why don't you litter? Because people will see you, and you don't want to look like I was going to say use an expletive there, but you won't. And you look like a certain person. Why don't you do this? Why don't you pervert the attractive woman? Because you'll get caught. But what will you do when there's no chance of you getting caught? That's the whole premise. Like,
it just never
You never.
I don't know.
achieves
If you
it.
ask me, like, psychologically, what's the step by step of it in the film, I wouldn't give a good account of it. Like, he gets a bit angrier when he can't leave, and then it's like, what's that? And he goes from, no, don't do it, to, well, I may as well rape her if I have a chance. Why not?
No, that I actually made a note of that. Like,
Really? Yeah, because I know it's big time. I was
there's
like,
about a second between don't even think about it and who's gonna know.
yeah. 'Cause, yeah, look,
It's literally like don't even think about it. Who's gonna know?
on the other hand, why not? Look, they've some okay details in it, like the way he can't sleep because he can't close his eyes.
That is cool. Like, and just no, you can't close your eyes. They're just translucent or whatever.
I think they did touch on that in the John Carpenter Chevy Chase one, Memoirs of him, and I think they mentioned it in that. But it is true. Although apparently you'd be blind because light has to reflect off something in your eyes. I remember reading that at one point. I kind of stuck then as to, so that happens, but then there's a bit more time between when they try and the aborted time to bring him back.
And it's more of debate between Hugh and Brolin about, because Brolin wants to fucking go public. And
yeah, should we maybe, it's worth maybe kind of touching on, though I might get some of the details wrong. Elizabeth Shue is the top bill in
here.
this.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's off the back of the Oscar win for Leaving Las Vegas.
It has to be.
Would you say? Because Kevin Bacon, I remember,
he's massive.
yeah, he would have been, like, nowadays there's no question.
But I have to be honest, I know you were mentioning about the Empire Diary thing, but I don't. Kevin Bacon doesn't strike me as a complete egomaniac. To go, oh well, hang on, if I'm not top billing, I'm not doing it. Like, do you know what I mean?
It is like, I was kind of, he doesn't seem like as I say, he just kind of came off as like, oh, he's kind of a typical kind of an actor guy. I'd imagine it was because of that, because she has the last thing I remember seeing Elizabeth Shue in was The Boys. She was in the first season of that. She's
definitely,
and I'd be hard pressed now.
She's second lead though. Like, even though, I mean, would you reckon this has contractual things to do though? Because she
must be,
because she's seeing more. So maybe that has. Well, I have more screen time.
Apparently, when he signed on, he was under the impression he wouldn't even be there.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, he goes, I don't even have to show up. Like,
I took a one-time fee instead of daily. Josh Brolin was like, his career was on its fucking ass at this time. Like, in 2007, he'd like 3 massive films. He was back on top. But I remember he was in this. I remembered him from The Goonies. I was like, that's the guy from The Goonies. He was in this, and then he was in some Jessica Alba bikini movie, or like, it wasn't literally a bikini movie, but he I think in that interview he said, I took this because literally everyone else said no, and I was just like the only guy who was still kind of knocking around, and he did keep him kind of in the public eye, but that was genuinely, it was nearly a John Travolta moment when he had No Country for Old Men. He was in Grindhouse, which actually wasn't a huge hit, but he did. What was the third thing he was in? He's in like, American Gangster. He was He had a great 2007 anyway, and then he was.
that's a career in itself. Like,
Jesus,
you know what I mean?
He did well. Yeah, and then he was in the lead in Bush. He just kind of has a perfect character actor career now. Though I'm like everyone else in those films, I think he's only okay in Dune. I'm sorry.
Look, Dune, for me, I have a weird one. I haven't seen the second one. And I struggled through the first Dune. I found it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was shot beautifully. But other than that, I'm like, I'd be very Tarantino-esque in terms of, I've seen the Sandworms. I don't. Why am I looking at them again? Like, do you know what I mean?
The David Lynch ones, you'd never forget the images in them. Whereas the Denis Villeneuve ones, he is a very good director, but I just go like, it's too sensible. Like, after seeing David Lynch, you're like, if I want sensibility, I'll fucking stick with something else. But he's a very good actor, Josh Brolin. I like him a lot. He does have something hanging over him from his personal life that I can't quite recall, and you'll get caned if you don't bring him up. So there we go. But yeah, he's not given a lot to do in this. I think it's an important thing to say.
And what he is given to do, it's as Andrew Tate would say, he's an embarrassment of a man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I hate to quote the bald man, but like, he's fucking right in this regard. Like, I mean, I swear to God, what a passive fucking little toad he is.
He really doesn't have much going on.
I know.
Like, well, what do you think? And
even that shit about because it perfectly segues into, he thinks he's come up with there's actually a really good line about the true genius is getting from A to D without having to go through B and C. And he goes, I need B and C. Sebastian doesn't. But so he figures something out, but it only gets to 98.9 efficacy or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and Kevin Bacon's like
absolutely
chewing him out,
dresses him down,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
again he just sits there and takes it, like Elizabeth Shue when she told me he had a tiny dick. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, have a bit of fucking backbone.
Have a bit of stand up for yourself, for God's sake. So in terms of the linearity of it, if that's quite the word I want, they try and bring him back, and again that's a relatively well done scene. Like it doesn't work. You know well it's not going to fucking work.
This thing, I always
it does
thought
get
this-
into it too quick though. Again,
I thought it was a bit
thing,
too overkill though as well, where they put the mask on him, because I get it for when he's no. Why would they make? How would he remove that?
Oh, the
It's
mask
directly
thing.
on his skin. Like they don't put a. Do you know
No,
what I
you're
mean?
right. Yeah.
And it's not like
it's just poured onto his face. Yeah,
it's not like plaster. It's fucking rubber.
Yeah.
Like there's no way he's taking that mask off. Like
that's a very good point, yeah. Because when they do the real masks, they make like a cast of your head
yeah.
first.
So they put the plaster Paris thing on. Like, do you know what I mean?
Interesting point. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
like
hadn't
that's
considered that,
again,
yeah.
it's just this was on auto. Nobody was checking. Like,
Yeah.
surely, like he wouldn't be that'd be stuck to him forever. Like,
I also would have thought, like, I know they wanted to get away from, because it's the original Invisible Man where it's all the bandages. It just didn't quite have a. It just struck me as they did that. What do you think of this, Paul? Oh yeah, that's grand. I was like, okay. Does it look menacing? Not really. Is it very memorable? Not really.
Oh no, I do. I have to say, I do like the effect of you can see right to the back of the mask. But I'm just like, what's the? And she's way too fucking handy with them bleeding that scalpel. Can you imagine how sharp that is? And she's just, you know what I mean?
True, yeah.
Fuck
these
this,
are all-
like. 'Cause I mean, you know me at this stage, like logic is a big fucking deal to me and stuff.
we
It depended
have it,
on the film. Like, if it's a fucking slasher,
Yeah.
be as illogical as you fucking want. But if I meant to be taking this seriously, fucking,
Yeah, they kind of want to have it both ways.
I know,
of, like,
yeah.
Oh, let's do it more scientifically, but
let's just stab him in the eye.
Yeah. So it
Make a way
fails.
hold.
They give him that mask, and then
That's when he gets
they're
very
doing-
quickly. He gets sick.
This is where he kind of starts to deteriorate. Yeah.
And then Greg, and he just arrives, says Greg Grunberg's
Grunberg, isn't it?
Grunberg, I think, and he basically says, "I'm going now."
Yeah,
Pretty much.
quite soon. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh fuck! Like, what am I supposed to do?" And like, okay, that I don't know. All the characterizations, I'm just like, they're just not. They seem to be going for kind of these
actually,
late 90s cool
This
kind
just
of
I
vibe.
literally after dawning on me there. This is probably one of the last genuine token black people in cinema.
Oh, you're one.
Who the fuck we haven't even mentioned her? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's just part of. What does she even do?
She's
one of
Joey
the tech
Slotnick's
people or something. Yeah.
assistant or
Yeah.
whatever. But she has fuck all to do. Like.
Yeah. And then Kim Dickens sticks around, even though they don't need a vet anymore. But
Yeah, exactly.
We just won't question that.
Fucking hell, this is falling apart
Yeah.
quickly.
So he goes. This is the big scene. So he goes back to his apartment, and again, like,
And eats a Twinkie.
yeah. When you're watching it again, the Netflix version, it just seems ludicrous how available his neighbor is for him to look
Yeah,
in on.
it's better on the physical media.
Yeah, it has more like
Contrast.
It's just more contrasty and it looks more realistic. Yeah,
But again, it just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait. Don't even think about it. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? It's literally like don't even think about it.
And now
Who's
I
gonna
think
know?
you watched the director's cut.
Yeah.
And he does actually like explicitly. I'm not gonna be algorithmically inclined here. He does explicitly rape her in that version.
Yes,
if I'm not
he
mistaken,
goes in,
yeah.
stalks her for a bit in our room. And yeah, but see the thing is, it's overt that what he's after doing. But it's not shot in a way where you see anything. It's a lot of fucking.
There is like a shot of her like crying on the bed and then him leaving her.
Yeah.
I remember I only saw it on like a deleted scene or something like that. So I think that's
like it's not
deleted
fucking
material.
irreversible. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay,
It's not
right,
like
Jesus
Monica
Christ,
Bellucci
yeah.
in the red
I think
fucking
actually
tunnel.
he
Like,
did reference that Verhoeven is like, yes, you don't want it to be funny. Yes, it could be potentially funny, and you don't want it to be. Which
Okay.
yes, you do not. Yeah. Yeah, it is just again. Even in the theatrical version, like it's just clear what he's after doing.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just like he's already a fucking
But
complete
this
monster. Like,
but that should have been. Oh my god.
yeah,
But it's not because they make it instead of a sharp fucking bang. It's a slow journey up a hill because she's already after molesting Kim Dickens' character.
Yeah.
So it's a slow kind of, okay, we know what he's into.
Yeah, not
Whereas
really.
this should be, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
Well, it's such a completely different, like as someone who would do that, like who would rape
James.
someone in that. Jesus.
Choose your words
We
carefully.
won't, yeah, well,
Choose your
I'll be
words.
very, very careful there. Is essentially like if you're putting them in a movie, they're unquestionably like the villain. Like
Yeah.
there's no difference between that and then him murder. Like in movie terms, it's like the same kind of a guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
except
can have
it's a
your
different
personal-
threat, yeah. But even in the theatrical version where they toned it down because they didn't want the audience to lose fucking sympathy for him or whatever, I'm still like he obviously did
sympathy?
this. Yeah, he doesn't like. If it had been something like to rewrite it, like if he'd like ripped the clothes off her or something, like but he doesn't actually touch her directly or something, you'd be like, okay, like that's a gradation of evilness, if you know what I mean. But in this, is like if he raped her, then that's game over. Like what's
There's no redeeming from
what's
that.
any time between now
but
and
see,
the
that's
end
the
of
thing
the
you
film?
mentioned about murder. If a character can redeem himself from cold-blooded murder, you
Yes.
cannot redeem yourself from rape.
Yeah, it's true.
It just
yeah,
can't happen.
Very
like.
true. Yeah, because then the next.
Well, in certain circles, and there circles you
that's
don't want to be
true,
around.
yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Because then, so that like, I don't know how much worth dwelling on it is, but it just kind of leaves that dangling then for the rest of it. Except he
And
does reference it later. He says, "I scared her a little bit," and then
And he smiles.
yeah, that's where I'm like,
That's menacing.
you just went too far for that line. To if he'd have done something like I say, where he really terrified her, like you know what from her point of view, what the fuck is happening if something like that goes on. And he goes, I scared her a bit, and you're like, that would have been like a slight step up the ladder as opposed to like he's already a cartoonish supervillain at this stage, like, you know.
And then at this stage, Elizabeth Shue finds his mask and all his clothes and all in his apartment.
And they're
Now,
openly thinking like, what's up
at
with
this
guy,
fucking point. The next time you see him, you shoot him in the face with a tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Like this, because in the following, she finds the thing. They rush back to the lab, and they're discussing about maybe going and telling what they did tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, what? Hang on for a second, and then he shows up, and it's
Yeah.
like Elizabeth Shue was too calm. Like, what the fuck did you just do?
Yeah.
What did you just do?
What were you
Like,
up to, mate? Yeah. Yeah.
like, and like at that point, you sneak up behind them, bang, right, let's sort this out. Let's sort this out. Let's call the fucking general, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just going too far. But then, what happened? What makes them go to the general? Because that wasn't it.
No, because they
It was
leave,
something
because they
else.
say they're going to go and do it tomorrow.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
They killed it, is it? No.
No, he kills the dog. Sorry, yeah, he kills the dog, and then they say, "Okay, this has gone too far enough," or whatever the fuck. They go to the general, and again, there is
This is where, what's he say his name was?
William Devane or
William
Devan,
Devan, right?
Yeah.
So the line that he delivers to his wife, she goes, "What's wrong?" And he goes, mess up at work.
Yeah,
Enough to wake up a few generals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, even you're phoning it in. Like, that was the most droll fucking delivery of that line. Like,
Well, I remember watching the way it was filmed, and normally Verhoeven, who was a real genius with the camera, I should point out, like, it's from Kevin Bacon's point of view, and he's looking in windows, seeing them doing it, and I was like, this should be a slam dunk for Verhoeven. Like, oh yeah, I really feel like I'm eavesdropping on the conversation, and it's just nothing. It's just like, oh yeah, stand there, oh yeah, do that, say that, because like there's even bits that I'm like, this should, because even the dialogue is quite realistic, where they're like, is there anything we should be doing? Maybe clear out your desks. And I'm like, that's kind of what would be said in that situation. And
we're really sorry.
Yeah, and I'm watching, I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not buying this. Not very good. And then he murders him in the pool.
Now, I had to bring up the special effects again because it's fantastic.
They are good, yeah.
There is absolutely, from when he blows the smoke in his face and he goes, "Hi, boss."
Yeah.
And like, that's really menacing. And he jumps into the water, and seeing how they shot this, the way they shoot it with the actors, and then obviously because what they do in, like, say, the hallways of the lab, they can just lock off the camera and shoot. The wall's not going to change.
Yeah.
But obviously the water is changing, and just to see how they shot it and layered it on top of it, that's fucking, because you had fellas blowing bubbles, you had splashing, You had it was fucking magnificent. Like
Fair play to them.
Like
Yeah.
it's such a feat. Like, and again, like I said, the first time I watched this, I went, "Oh well, this is not very good." Like,
Yeah,
do you know
I
what
think
I mean?
even today that would be quite difficult.
Oh, yeah, it was
I'm
brilliant,
open to correction on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, none of it's fucking easy, I suppose. But yeah, like fair play to them. Like,
Yeah, no, it was
for the
fucking
time, yeah.
so good. Like,
and that's again what the film was kind of sold on. I kind of wish sometimes they do a bit more with, like, from the person's point of view of like, well, what the fuck is actually happening here? Like, Jesus. But like, just as a special effects showcase, kind of no notes.
yeah.
So
fantastic.
then the next day, yeah, isn't it? They go, oh yeah, because I actually laughed out loud at this, but Elizabeth Hughes like, we should have heard something. Hello, can I speak to General? He is, and I was because the day before I was watching an episode of Futurama, and there's a guy who's like in the middle of something. He goes like, yeah, so can the ad say, you know, snowmobile available? Call now, and it's like, can you put call now in bold? You can't, because I was just like, can I speak to the general? Oh, he's not there, or whatever she says. Like, he's what? And I'm like, oh Jesus, the old phone acting.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
look, it has to be done.
And then it should
somewhere,
be
yeah.
mentioned here as well that they we kind of missed it, but they have passcodes to get out of a laboratory.
Oh yeah, you
and
just locked them out, yeah.
Sebastian's changed them all now. Like,
Isn't that like that's the run to the end? Then it's just
Yeah,
him
yeah.
stalking them.
That's
in the
it,
fucking,
yeah.
Because I watched it on Netflix. I had a long phone conversation with a friend of mine, and I was just kind of watching it silently in the background before I went back and watched it through again. And I got to the point where they were locked in the fridge, and I was like, all right, that must be like 5 minutes from the end. It's like 20 fucking more minutes.
because that's the thing, it's so uneven here. Because what happens is they decide, right, we're going to get him. They take their, and one thing I had to point out as well, right, they keep taking off the fucking glasses.
Yeah, why do they keep taking them off?
They
It makes
keep
no
them on.
sense. Yeah.
Keep them on. Because like Josh Brolin at one stage runs down the hall with them in his hand, and then he does this. That cunt could be anywhere.
No,
like, do you
yeah,
know
it
what I
makes
mean?
no sense.
But see, this is where it's very disjointed, because what should happen here is pick them off one by one, Gordy, whatever you want, make it almost a fucking slasher, like, do you know what I mean? That's what it's called now for. But what happens is the black one gets held back, she gets killed, and then nobody else is killed for 10 or 15 minutes.
That was another thing I laughed out loud at, because they're all leaving, and it's like there's an invisible psychopath, and she like, everyone's left, and she's like, oh,
my glasses.
and she literally makes a noise like, oh, and she runs back. She picks them up, and I'm like,
Now, to be fair, I 100% do that. Like, I
Really?
go, bollocks.
it can't be that serious. Oh no, doesn't he? He does, and I know it sounds kind of ludicrous to say because you can't see him. He plays it very well when he's gone completely nuts, bacon.
Yeah.
Like, he's believably dangerous, and you
See,
kind of.
but this is where you see a lot more of him, because they start to mesh the. Because if you see how it's shot, he's like half green suit, half real. Like, it's mad, like how they've done it. Like, because like it's like. How would you describe it? Do you ever see like a t-shirt with like claw marks on it, and you can see behind it?
Yeah.
So that's what the green suit, the green
okay.
morph suit looks like. And it's again in terms of the effects.
And they were making this stuff up at the time as well.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't have
'cause
had a clue
this
how
was
to
like
do it, yeah.
this was like cutting edge, like at the time, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I say, it was 95 million budget, which now would be 200 probably or something.
No,
and
yeah.
half of it, like more than half, the figure I saw was 50 million for the visual effects. Like, that's no fucking joke.
No, yeah.
So then, isn't the next guy gets killed the kind of bro-y guy? Is that Greg?
I think so, Greg
Grunberg, is it?
Grunberg, yeah.
Who explained to me where Kevin Bacon was? Was he
He's on
lying?
top of
Was he
it.
lying on the top of a pipe, which seems to be like an inch from the fucking ceiling or something?
He is, because you see him.
And Josh
'Cause
Brolin starts
Shooting.
shooting up, and I was like, why is he shooting up there? Isn't Kevin Bacon standing on the ground holding the guy up? I'm like, why is he assuming he's he was obviously in the pipes? You're like, what are you basing that on?
because once the smoke, the steam starts firing, and you see him.
Yeah,
on
but
the
he
top of it.
shoots up there first, and I was like, why
yeah.
would you assume he's up there? Like, you know, he's,
Well, I suppose
he's smarter than me, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe no, we'd be being too kind if we try and that's just stupid.
That's true, yeah.
It's stupid.
Now, having said that, the bit how he killed, it takes a while for him to die, but where he throws him onto the bit of metal that's sticking out, that's a good kill.
and that's practical as well.
Yeah.
because it's a puppet of the guy.
Yeah,
like,
it did. That made me
very
go.
good.
I was watching it even. I was on that phone call me mate. I was watching it silent, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's like
That's
a good
what
kill,
you want.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
you want.
That's what you want from a film like this.
Yeah.
But it takes him ages to die, and then
Yeah, because what happens is, because they have to get Kim Dickens into the room with the blood. So Joey Slotnick and Kim Dickens come up, and it's like, put pressure on, he's gonna die. Oh no, just like Joey Slotnick is standing in the background going, no, he's alright, he's gonna be alright.
No, but she goes, he needs blood, and I'm like, how is this going to fucking work? And she gets like 6 bags of blood.
Aren't you a vet?
Yeah, and I'm like, how much blood is in the guy? And granted, I know we've
She's usually giving blood transfusions to bovine. Like,
I
you know what I mean? That's why
suppose,
she has
yeah.
like 6 or 7
But I was
bags
like,
of blood.
would you not stop the bleeding for? Although it was, in the film's defense, your man is there stopping the bleeding.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she's like, I just was like, that's a bit OTT to go get the fuck.
And again, a great where she drowns him with the blood, and
That-
it looks fantastic.
That's cool. Yeah,
yeah.
That's why that happened. That was.
And the
cool,
thing
yeah.
is, he shoots her with the fucking tranquilizer dart.
Yeah, I did.
And then I'm like, he's gonna do something weird again before he
Yeah,
kills
I
her.
thought so. Yeah,
That's literally what I thought. He's gonna fucking put his hand up her dress.
that
or
was
something.
disappointing. Yeah, he just broke her neck, which is actually very, yeah. I did think. I thought yeah. I'll get into why I have an issue with that in a sec. I did like the moment though where he's turning the gun on her and she just starts going, "No, please, please," and I was like, "All right, that's kind of what someone would say, like maybe a bit more disturbing." No, the neck snap bothers me because I remember some movie magazine and they did an interview with an actual special forces guy, probably not, but he said, and he goes like, "Oh, this whole neck breaking thing," he said, I know a special forces guy who tried it on a guy once, and the guy just started screaming because he tore the muscles in his neck, so it had like the opposite effect. But it's like, okay, you're a special forces guy and you're gonna try and break a guy's neck because you saw it in a movie. That doesn't sound right either.
No, but given it in Trump's America, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
true. Yeah. Well, this was.
I know
Bill
it was back
Clinton's
in the day, but
America or
all
whatever.
those people were still there.
I
They
know.
just weren't being platformed.
I bet Pete Hegseth thinks he can fucking do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But
Farting in 4K.
yeah, it just whenever I see that, I'm like, unless it's in a Schwarzenegger movie,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Where you can
don't
suspend
just do
disbelief,
it.
like.
Yeah, they could have gone a bit creepier with it, which is not to say I'd have enjoyed watching that, but I was like,
You just said you would have.
yeah. Well, I thought it was a bit unimaginative that he just breaks her neck.
I genuinely thought he's going to do something weird here.
Yeah, but having said that, do I want a 5-minute long scene where he does something really perverted? I'm like, maybe not. Although Paul Verhoeven, maybe on his cutting room floor.
And then they end up in the freezer, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. How does he kills the curly hair guy somehow?
Yeah, he stabs him. He
just stabs him with the yoke, yeah. And then they end up in the freezer. And
he stabs Josh Brolin with the same thing.
To be fair now, it's one of the few in movies plausible Bond villain thing of, I'll just leave you in here and assume you die, because like in reality there's no way they're getting out of there basically. And the way they get out is quite clever.
But they get frosty very quick.
True, yeah.
Which I know you can just show me the thermometer going fucking down. I understand it's cold.
Yeah.
You don't have to put fucking icicles on Elizabeth Shue's hair.
And
like.
I was going, why does she spend? Because she.
Do you know what? This film is fucking crap. I was literally going to come in here.
Turned on.
I'm literally going to come in here and say, do you know what? No, I had to. This is fucking shit.
Well, the way they edited it made it look like, because as you say, she immediately starts going, ooh. And then she seems to spend 10 minutes putting duct tape on Josh Brolin's fucking cut or whatever.
Yeah.
And she goes, he's like, how bad is it? And she like puts her entire fist in it. And he's like, oh no, you're okay. And he's like, oh. I was like, the poor fucking
No,
guy.
because what happens is, to be fair, she does kind of, it's explained the way, she's checking whether they're hitting
She's
organ.
checking the ore, yeah.
But still.
But it comes across as a bit like, geez, you cooked me and now you fucking... the way...
a fucking awful film.
The way she gets out, I think is fine, because she's a scientist. She's meant to be clever.
The magnets,
and
yeah.
It seemed plausible.
A bit
to me.
MacGyvery, but
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It does seem plausible.
Although I have some notes then on her plan is to pull him out, light a fire in a bucket, and then leave him. I'm like, all right, I don't know much about thermodynamics, but I think the fire heat might go up or something.
Because that's exactly what happens in the following, out in the hallway.
Yeah.
The fucking
So then it just
that's
becomes
actually
like
fucking true, because the fucking rain, it starts.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Yeah.
No, but it does in the final scene.
Yeah, it starts the sprinklers.
Yeah. So obviously, fucking, he's not
That's
freezing
exactly
to death.
right.
Josh Brolin's dead.
Yeah, so I did like again though. I thought they should have made more of this though, like where she makes the improv fucking flamethrower. I thought that was pretty good.
And I do love the effect again. Special effects. If 5 out of 5 for special effects.
Mm-hmm.
1 for everything else. No, but when she sets him a light in I do like the kind of character point of he draws eyebrows on her lips instead of lips.
I thought that was funny.
That was very good.
Yeah.
But she's like, I have to. I can't. I'm gonna be invisible
Now
forever.
I look completely normal. Thank goodness. Yeah.
There's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
But when she blasts him in the lift,
Yeah.
Everything after that, because the fucking stuff's starting to melt to him and everything. Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
No, it's very, and whatever way she does it, it's very believable. Like, she's just so pissed off at the guy. She's like, fuck you. Like, the way she plays it, it's very good.
She's a good actress, Elizabeth Shue.
She is, yeah, she's very good. As I say, I'm pretty sure I forget when it happened, but she won the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas.
Though, it was a few years before.
So, like, she must have done stuff in the middle that's just not coming to mind. But it is, looking at it now, it's kind of odd she's top billed. But look, at the time, she had more cachet or whatever. It's all fine after that. Like,
it should be pointed out as well, it was cool when you see it, the making of and the elevator shaft and how they did it, because a lot of that's practical, like, do you know what I mean? It's really cool, like, some of the stuff that they done in it. And yeah, that's basically it. They've trapped him in.
It gets a bit overblown now, I think, because Josh Brolin kind of shows up and saves her a bit, but then
no, this is ridiculous now. Actually, I take everything I said back. No, because what happens is they're going up, the thing explodes, the fucking lift falls down, and then Kevin Bacon somehow ends up on our back, right?
Oh yeah,
and he pulls our back down onto the top of the lift, right? So then Cook do. Josh Brolin, as slowly as possible, starts trying to go back down, even though there's no ladder to go back down. But the shot of him just kind of moseying down.
Was it just me, or did they kind of implied Kevin Bacon got an electric shock, and that seemed to make him less transparent or something? Because you can kind of see him a bit. So I'm like, did I never fucking think of that now? But it is so the guy is presumably 3rd degree burns from head to toe, and he's like, whatever, I'll accept he's adrenaline going or whatever. And then they're on top of a fucking elevator shaft that's apparently hanging on by a single electrical socket. And he goes to Elizabeth Shue, one last kiss. And he is apparently believes that she'd kind of get into it at a certain point. And I was like, oh, good fucking Jesus. And then it seems to be held on by a single electrical socket, which is not locked in. And she just kicks that off. And
it is like a lever. Like, it is a fucking...
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, geez, I'd be putting a lot of faith in it.
And then the Hans Gruber.
Yeah,
going down,
the way he falls down, which is still done way better in Die. Like, he looked a little silly, but
this is where the special effects kind of take it's a bit too cartoony here, considering how well everything else has looked like.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I did. Like, to be fair, now I was watching this, and as an action scene with like, oh, this happens and this happens, it's grand. But I think it was Verhoeven himself said it, there's a bunch of different guys could have made that, and I was watching that scene and I was like, yeah, kind of any kind of competent Hollywood director at the time could have done this. Whereas some of the stuff in it that you're like, oh, that's very Verhoeven, and you're like, oh, I don't really like. There's a bit where it's a dream scene in it where Elizabeth Shue's like in bed and she dreams she's undressing her, and I do just. Now, you might say it's the point to be uncomfortable, but I'm like, this doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the fucking thing. Jesus. Because when he wants
to see Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah. Can I just see that? Like, and one thing to point out is this took place in like a perfect block of time, like from the late 90s, early 2000s, where all the fucking women's clothes are horribly unflattering and shitty, and them fucking shoes Kim Dickens is wearing, like, Jesus Christ, they're a fucking war crime. Like, they're like clogs or something, and I don't fucking know.
Paul Verhoeven is Dutch, like.
That's true. They should be big wooden shoes, yes. No. No, I'm pretty.
What do you mean? She's a fucking vet. She's gonna be in comfortable shoes.
It's fucking. But yeah, like their hair, Elizabeth Shue's hair. He was a fantastically good-looking woman, but their hairstyle in this, I'm like, Jesus, it's just even. Have you watched Ocean's 11 recently?
With
the Brad Pitt,
not
the styles in that have not like, I'm sure in like 10 years it'll be back and it'll be retro cool, but I watched it recently enough and I was like, Jesus, the
oversized suits and everything, like
there's just something off, like the hairstyles in it and all this, but as I say, in a few years it'll be cool again. So then they kill him and then they walk out, and I couldn't, the film had lost me at this stage, and I found myself wondering, they're still in a rake of trouble at work, though, aren't they? Like, they're probably end up in prison.
They're in prison, yeah.
Or would you be like, if I were them, I'd be like, right, so what do we say happened here?
Yeah. Well, this film dawned a sequel.
Indeed it did.
So, essentially what's happened is, I would imagine if you're going to continue the story from Elizabeth Shue's and Josh Brolin's thing, they were either killed or they were told to go away and we won't speak about this again.
It was buried.
Yeah.
Is it just a separate thing in the second one?
Completely. It's just...
Christian Slater
is an assassin. and it's being used for the government is using it. Like it's all black ops and all this shit. Like, and they call it, there's a line. I watched it, but I watched it once just to say I watched it. Basically.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like because he needs a booster or something. Because apparently it's after a while it starts to disintegrate and.
Wears off?
Yeah. But it starts to fuck you up, like, do you know what I mean? Because there's another guy who they tested it on, and he shows up to help the protagonist, and he's all fucking old and decrepit and all because it's after fucking him up. So that's what Christian Slater's whole thing is trying to get the booster or whatever. Okay, and it's just really fucking bad. Jeez, it's bad. Like, if this is bad, you think this is bad, that's fucking. And Christian Slater, God bless him. Christian Slater, we were speaking about it earlier on. Other than True Romance, has never made a good thing in his life. What's that thing with fucking John Travolta? Arrow.
3,000 Miles to Graceland. Where they're all Elvis impersonators. Broken
Arrow. Yeah.
Oh, come on now, get on the Broken Arrow thing, Keith, for fuck's sake. No, that was with Kevin Costner, where they play Elvis impersonators who rob a casino.
That sounds interesting.
It sounds interesting.
What was the one we were talking about?
Very Bad Things. Was it?
That is my type of fucking the premise of that, and even the way it attempts in its comedy and stuff and dark comedy. That's my shtick. I love it, but I hate that film.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so man. I don't know.
Terrible. But anyway, we're talking about the first one.
We got to the end, thankfully.
And again, in typical fashion of the time, it just ends.
Just ends, yeah. Has the shot pulling out and they go to an ambulance. How many films ended like that? Fair enough. And again, why did Paul Verhoeven bother making this? It underwhelmed me then. It's underwhelmed me now. It looks, again, the Netflix version, you are not seeing, it does hurt the film as much as the film deserves better.
I came in here today, out straight going, Jeez, it's not that bad. But when you're having a discussion and you're scrutinising some of this stuff, it absolutely falls apart. Like I said in the intro, it absolutely comes asunder, and it is fucking abysmal. And I say that being dead serious, not for the laugh. Like,
no,
it's
true,
like I came in here to fucking stick up for this, thinking I was gonna have to, and I just can't. There's no. Kevin Bacon is good. That's me. And I do like him.
Yeah, it kept Josh Brolin in the conversation, I suppose. But no, what a waste of a Paul Verhoeven's time.
To think what you could do with 95 million quid, do you know what I mean?
I know, with him, yeah. Although he was lucky he got any work, because Starship Troopers was a pretty big flop. I think. It's an amazing film. Don't get me wrong. Artistically, it's amazing. But
it's funny you mentioned that Josh Brolin probably has some issues in his personal life, because in the making of the closing out of it, they asked each actor what they do if they were invisible, and he just smirks and goes, "I'd play with my kids," right? There's something that you're not saying something there. Do you know what I mean? Because at least Greg Grunberg turns around, I'd be a porn star. That's literally what he says. I'd be a porn star, because then my mother doesn't see me. I'd 100% be a porn star.
It's a good answer as well.
Well, do you know what I mean? At least you're a bit more honest than Josh Brolin. I'd play with me kids, you fucking prick.
What kind of an asshole plays with this? It's for cooks.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck me.
Right, so non-submersible units. This is the part where what makes it live in the memory, good or bad.
Kevin Bacon.
I think so. Kevin Bacon.
Him being invisible.
No, I'm saying no. Special effects.
Yeah.
For the time, 100%. No, if I was grading this solely on special effects, this is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Oh, fair enough.
But
they are very good, yeah.
And that brings us swiftly to rating. I'm going 2, and the only reason I'm going to, it would be 1. Given how this is all falling apart as discussing it, but I have to give it 2 solely for special effects. We have to take into consideration the craft that went into it as well, and that's a full. It might even push it up higher than 2, really, because that's so good.
I go 2, and I just find the fact that it's a Paul Verhoeven film, and we're I don't know, Kevin Bacon, the special effects, and you're like, what the fuck, what the fuck?
We should know exactly what makes this memorable.
His time on it. I think it did inspire him to go back to Europe. So everything he's done, Black Book, Elle with what's her Isabelle Huppert is very good, and Benedetta, and he did one other thing that I didn't see, but all those that I've seen are, if you're into his kind of a thing, and some people loathe the man, even the good films. like that's good shit basically. So if being pissed off at this inspired him to do those films, and say la vie, there we
Happy
go.
days, yeah.
Yeah, but he did have, again, as I say, he's uneven. Like he can make films. Like he half-assed this, but as Homer Simpson would say, he used his whole ass on Showgirls and Basic Instinct, and they're fucking terrible as well.
Showgirls, like Jesus Christ, I never finished that film.
Yes,
I can't.
I don't see what I can see.
There's no redeem. There's
It
zero.
doesn't. Yeah, I can't even laugh at it. Like I'm just like.
And fucking poor Elizabeth Berkley, like that ruined her.
I know,
And
yeah.
fucking Kyle, but that goes to show how misogynistic fucking Hollywood is. Because Kyle MacLachlan should not have survived that. Do you know what I mean?
No,
and he
everyone-
didn't. I suppose he didn't really, but he's still at the level he ever was. Like he's in Fallout now.
Yeah,
like,
everyone's shitting
Elizabeth
on him.
Berkley's gone. Like
No, sorry. There's one guy in that who I'm like, if that's what they were kind of going for, like he's a dance instructor guy. I don't know how well you remember it, but he's like there's one or two of the dance instructor guys, and I'm like, whatever pitch they're playing it at, that's effective. And then the whole rest of the film is the most complete fuck up I've ever seen. The cinematography, if I remember, is very good. Like Verhoeven, genuinely, he knows how to use the fucking camera in an invisible kind of a way. But apart from that, you're just like, what a fucking waste of everyone's like.
when she's having the fucking seizure in the pool having sex, like, do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
man.
I remember because Kyle MacLachlan was interviewed and he said, what was it? It's hard to do your sexy face when someone's like having a seizure. You're like, yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. But Paul, if you're watching, we're big fans.
Yes. RoboCop
give us a call.
is and will always be a classic.
RoboCop, Total Recall.
I've never hated a
Starship
group of men
Troopers.
more or felt more got the revenge thing
know, yeah.
as the guys who shot Paul.
Yeah. As
Paul no, what's his name? Sorry, Jesus, the actor Paul Weller.
Peter Weller.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ. He's coming back
He was
for
a lunatic.
he's coming,
apparently, as well,
he's coming back for. I want to say, is it Amazon or Hulu or something? They're making a RoboCop program.
Christ on the cross. No.
But if they do it, like the boys, do you know what I mean? Be really fucking overt and they'd be really good, like because the Joel Kinnaman remake isn't terrible.
I never saw it, but I did see. I remember I was so angry when I saw the Total Recall remake, and I came out and I was like, "Look at the Paul Verhoeven film," and you learn something about him watching it. And I was like, the only thing you learn from this fucking clown is he'd like Blade Runner. Like, get this shit off my fucking screen, because Total Recall is fucking so. He's an amazing director when he hits that pitch.
He gets the wavelength.
But like that's what makes it so weird when he's so off that you're like, how did you ever make a good, like Showgirls is so bad, you're like, how did he ever actually make a good movie?
Film,
like, but it's like fucking when he's on his fucking because I don't know, there was something about the American sensibility, hit or miss with him, I guess. But Christ on his throne. But I think we've given our star ratings. Yeah. What do you really like Hollow Man, dear viewer? My Aunt Mary, why do you like this film so much?
Aunt Mary, let me know. Let me know in the comments.
Please forgive me.
Or you can email me.
Or maybe, as I say, maybe she hates it so much she wanted to hear us tear it down.
I'd be interested to actually know why she wanted it revealed. Like, do you know what I mean?
I didn't have a chance to ask recently, but I can ask her. I'm in constant contact with her son, my cousin Jason, who is an avid listener. So we'll see.
Hello, Jason.
He may not have forgiven me for the accent during the field episode, though. So I don't know. We'll see. But on that bombshell, thanks very much,
that's it.
guys.
We bid you adieu for another week. Like, subscribe, tell a friend if you're enjoying the content. If not, fuck off.
Wankers.
Peace out. Have a good one.